Yo, yiggity, yo! What's good, y'all? My name is Covington. Happy Black History Month. If you have not seen the two videos that I dropped already, the first one was featuring the oldest living generation of my family, and the second one was featuring the generation after that. This video is going to be featuring my generation, so this is going to be my siblings and my cousins. Big shout out to everybody who was able to participate in this video. As you watch this video, if you've seen the others, you can try to compare and see the similarities and differences between all three generations thus far. If you haven't seen the other videos, you should go back and check them out after you watch this. Keep in mind that it's not about the quality of these videos, it's about the content. Before we get into this, make sure if you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Here we go, the third living generation of my family.
One thing that I learned very early on was oppression, was systemic racism. And I didn't have the vocabulary to articulate what I felt, but I knew that there were very strong differences.
One lesson that I can recall from growing up and learning about race was eating out after church. Went to Perkins, it was about 10 to 15 of us, and they didn't seat us. A similar sized party of white folks came in and they got seated right away.
I was in elementary, and one of our neighbors' kids and I were walking home from the park. We got into a fight about something. I can't remember what the fight was about, but I'll never forget her looking at me and saying, "If it wasn't for Martin Luther King, you'd be my slave." I was just so angry, and I didn't even know what to say or how to respond. And so I just walked up to her and pushed her.
I definitely have experiences where I could only be friends with certain people while we were in school, or being cursed at in the middle of a grocery store with my child simply for being black.
I got older, started driving, driving while black, looking suspicious, hanging out with my friends, we got our hoods on, pants sagging, music loud, just being us, being young people.
African Americans, and specifically African American males, are portrayed as criminals, as uneducated, individuals who are undesired, super predators, right? And no one would want to associate themselves with those types of things. So I distanced myself from those connotations at a very young age.
Life is different as a black male. Regardless of age, we had to look out for one another and be wise in action, knowing the police would take any chance possible to lock us up.
There's nothing like knowing that you could have been enslaved just 150 years ago for nothing other than your physical features, and knowing that today you can be incarcerated and then enslaved for those same exact features, for the same exact thing.
It was the first time I realized that white people could still see us as inferior, that there were a subset of people that felt like we had a place in the world and that place was beneath them.
I remember that it was difficult attending school where my sister and I would typically be one of only 2 or 3 other black students.
I went from an all black school to an all white school, being the only black person in my class.
And not only was my skin color different, but my hair was different, my character, the way I carried myself was different.
My hair was different, my skin tone was different, the way I dressed was different.
And it was a constant struggle for me to prove my intelligence to not only the students around me, but also the teachers.
Not only with my white peers, but I also had a sense that I didn't fit in amongst other black people.
There's this line by a rapper, too black for the white kids, too white for the black kids. And in high school, I felt like that was like the perfect category for where I stood.
I don't think I was black enough for some people. I don't think I was too black for others.
So I had people on both ends of the racial spectrum typecast. They had expectations of me to act, speak, dress, or behave in a certain manner.
For me, growing up black meant that I had to be more cautious of my surroundings and the image that I'm portraying. So basically like code switching, just knowing when and where to say or do the right things at the right time.
I never really understood that we had such a different experience than what is sold to us about justice and truth and just faith in a country.
We are often disregarded for our amount of intelligence simply by the color of our skin.
Being questioned about my position or expertise in corporate America.
It was hard going to ORU sometimes and having to sit in chapel or sit in class and hear my teachers talk about history or things that happened that affected the Black community. It was hard to hear them say that and then just kind of brush over it and not really care. I got the great opportunity to surround myself with healthy friendships, from my best friend to some other amazing Black women that really just continue to uplift me and help me push through and get through my years of college.
Although I went to also a predominantly white college, I'm surrounded by a culture and community of Black people, and that taught me like what excellence is, and excellence is Black.
I grew up in Hawaii for a few years of my childhood, and it was in Hawaii that I learned what it meant to be an activist. The community embraced me and very much said, you know, you need to know who you are as a person. I'm also very, very fortunate and blessed that I come from a very strong civil rights family.
With my mom showing me boldness, my dad being able to motivate and be a leader, I was like, these are aspects in my family line that are gonna fall on me.
My mom did not allow for the conversation to be turned into anything other than what that child did and said to me to provoke that moment. And in that moment, I realized that someone had to always take responsibility for how they made me feel. And no one had the power to make me feel inferior or to just say anything to me or to treat me any kind of way without me reacting to that. And I didn't have to apologize for being upset or being angry or confronting someone for their racism.
My grandpa and our parents went to inquire, hey, what's going on? Why haven't we been seated? Some other words were exchanged that I don't recall, and then I remember us leaving. We were back a week later protesting outside of the restaurant, and a lot of more community members joined us. The news was there, and Perkins really just had no idea who they were messing with. And they actually ended up shutting down like a month or two later.
Growing up with a strong mom and a strong grandpa, strong uncles, aunties, has really helped me and actually encouraged me to keep going. With my injury back in 2010, I think that's when it actually kind of changed my view as a Black person, because that's when I got to experience Black on Black crime. When I got shot by another Black person, it was just different because, you know, hey, we supposed to love each other.
But at the same time, I felt like my reflection of my Blackness was reflected back from Black men. And I remember one guy in particular, there was this pretty light-skinned girl. She was mixed, and he told her like, oh, you're pretty for a Black girl.
I love my lips. I love my skin. I love my nose. I love my hair in its many forms.
It's complex. It's being able to understand that yes, I am going to experience different traumas, but my Blackness is one of my greatest strengths because I get to define that and I get to reshape that and I get to relearn that and I am able to share it with other people.
Every single day you have to be bold and you have to be courageous. Black people are looked down upon, and we need to show them that we are not going to let people step over us and that we will continue to stand strong and stand firm in what we believe in and who we are.
Being a part of movements like that, I realized this is what change looks like. This is what a fight for justice looks like. Even as small as it was to boycott a restaurant, we let them know you cannot treat us this way.
In Psalms 139, it says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that is something to be proud of. That is something to hold true to, and it is not something that we let anyone else, not even other Black people, to tell us that there is something that we can or cannot do because of the color of our skin.
The color of our skin, it does not determine our path. We don't need a white savior to come and save us. God is capable of doing that all himself, and I'm grateful that I come from a family who not only instilled the importance of education in us, but the importance of having a relationship with God.
He has created me beautifully and wonderfully in his image, and it's in him that I find the truth about who I really am.
It took a lot of growth, a lot of reflection to, one, let myself know that I could have a sense of pride and passion being Black, that I could feel comfortable in my own skin, that No outside worldly factors could determine or tell me who I was or who my people are.
We are original. We are the creators.
We have Black love, Black power, Black beauty, Black don't crack. The list goes on.
I love my people. I love the skin I'm in. If I were to die again, I would ask God, if you put me back on that earth, please make me black. I would beg him, please, please.
This quote that really helps me keep striving and keeps me going is being able to reset your mindset so it can be an asset to your future.
I am in education because I wish I had educators like me. I'm being the adult that I needed. Coming up as a young Black girl, coming up as a curious Black girl, and now a full-fledged Black woman, my contribution is to ensure that the next generation, not just in my own children, but as well as many children as we can touch and embrace, understand that it is okay to be Black AF.
It took me a while to realize that simply by the fact that you are Black enough. Blackness is not a monolith. We are not defined by one external experience. It is a makeup of multiple experiences, of multiple identities, of multiple ideologies, of multiple ways of living that create Blackness, that create us and who we are, and that we should take pride in each and every one of those.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Please go ahead and give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned, we got one more video coming next week. Alright y'all, peace up, A-Town down, yiggity.